welcome back to my channel. It's just Clarice. If this is your first time, hello, welcome. Today's video is going to be a tutorial, kind of get ready with me. I'm showing you guys how to do this Valentine's inspired look. It's very pink, it's very glowy. That is the vibe for this Valentine's Day for me. I'm also going to be reviewing some products that I recently added to my collection and I've been trying out for a little while. If you're interested in that, just keep watching. Without any further ado, let's dive on into today's video. Alrighty, so I'm going to be using a variety of products today. Some of these things are new to my collection, some of these things are not. I will let you guys know when I'm using something new. First things first, we're going to start off with the eyes today because we're going to be going very pinky and shimmery. Want to start with the eyes so we don't get any fallout on the rest of the face. I'm going to go in with my ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade Light 16. That's going to act as my eyeshadow base. Alright, so now that I have that base down, we can start going in. And I do want to make this very pinky, very light and romantic. I do have this new palette to my collection that I want to try today. This is the Pink Palette by Ever Belena. I got this from my cousin. She sent me a couple of different makeup products from the Philippines that I've been trying out and testing. And this I feel like would go really good with today's look, particularly these two shades. This one is like a very light cool toned pink and this one is more of like a berry pink. So I'm gonna use those two shades today, but there aren't really many mattes in here, so I am gonna start with these palettes. So this is my CoverGirl True Naked Sunsets palette, and this one is my Wet n Wild Stop Playing Safe palette. So I am going to start with the CoverGirl palette, and I'm going to take this lightest shade on the end here. This is Aura, I believe, and this is just like an all matte, very light peachy shade, and I'm going to take that on a very fluffy brush. This is my Morphe M218, and I'm patting this all over the eye. And this is like a huge fluffy brush because I'm really not being precise with this. I just want to put this all over that base that we just did so that when we go in with our other colors there won't be any skipping. So next we're going to start going in with some of our matte shades, and this is where the Wet n Wild palette comes in. I'm going to start with this really light pink shade and I'm just going to run that through the crease. I like to start with the lightest shade possible because then when you go in with your darker shades and you start blending out, it's just like an easier, softer transition. I'm taking this on like a really fluffy blending brush just through the crease, and I'm just sort of sweeping it through and then also doing little circular motions to blend as I go. Next, I want to go in with this slightly darker pink shade. I'm going to take that again through the crease but focusing it more in the outer corner, and I'm going to take that on a slightly smaller blending brush like this one. This is the Tapered Blending Brush by Beau Gashi. I got this in an Ipsy bag. These are very powdery shadows, just an FYI. So if you were gonna do your base first and use a palette like this, I would suggest layering some powder underneath your eyes to catch any fallout. The shadows in the Wet n Wild palette don't actually have names, but if I had to describe the shades, the first one that I put in my crease was like a very light peachy pink color. And then the second shadow that I'm layering down now is more of like a salmon pink. And I'm focusing that more so in the outer corner and through the crease, but not all the way to the inner corner. And now we can go in with those shimmers. Going back to the Pink Palette by Ever Belena. I hope I'm saying that right. We're gonna go in first with that more pinky berry colored shade. I'm going to build that up on most of the eye, not quite taking it all the way into the inner corner. And I'm gonna take that on a flat brush like this one. This is by SL Miss Glam and this is their SB68 brush. I'm going to press that on the eye. Yeah. These are really pretty shimmers. I've only played with this palette once before, but they are pretty metallic even without wetting them. And now with my finger, I'm going to take that really light pinky shade right there. It is just like a really soft baby pink. And then just tapping it on, starting from the inner corner and moving out. I really like that effect. I think I'm also going to go in with one of these shimmer shades in the inner corner, but I'm going to leave the eyes like that for now. We're going to zoom out and do the rest of the face and then come back and finish up the under eye as well as the inner corner. So in case you're wondering, this is just like a blank piece of paper. I really need to fix my lighting situation. These lights are so bright, but if I turn them off, I'm just encased in shadow, so it's not a lot I can do. Anyways, let's get started with some primer. The primer I'm going to use today is actually an old favorite of mine that I haven't touched in a while. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Glow Lock Primer. It's supposed to be their illuminating long wear primer. Now sometimes the words illuminating primer can be very scary because I've noticed, and I'm sure a lot of you have, that a lot of illuminating primers are just so chock full of shimmer. And when I want an illuminating primer, I don't want shimmer all over my face. I just want to look really dewy, like a glow from within. And this primer truly does do that. It's also supposed to be smoothing and hydrating and blurring. It has like a little squeezy tube. So now that's all over the face, we're going to move on to a new product to my collection. This is actually a new launch, I believe. This only came out like a month ago. This is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk Nourishing Foundation with coconut milk and aloe extract. It is a vegan product. It is also cruelty-free and is supposed to have a dewy finish. I have tried this twice before. And the first time I used it over a primer that I won't be using in today's video, but it is the Physicians Formula Organic Primer. I believe that's what it's called. I don't have it on me right now, but I found that that primer was not my favorite. I need to play with it a couple more times. It is a mineral-based primer. When you spread it over the skin, you'll notice a little bit of resistance. And for some reason, when I put this on top of it, it just made everything look a little strange and a little bit more cakey. I feel like it needs to go with maybe a more matte foundation than a hydrating one. I just don't know. It didn't really seem to mix. Then I also tried this on its own and I really love the finish, so that's what I'm going to go in with today. By the way, I am in the shade Light Medium 550, and I find that I like this applied best with a sponge versus a brush. And the reason is this foundation is supposed to be sheer light coverage. When I build up this foundation, it starts to look a little too makeup-y. It doesn't have the same skin-like finish. So I would highly recommend this foundation for people who really are just looking for something that's going to even out your skin tone, give you a really nice, beautiful, soft, dewy finish, and you don't really like a ton of coverage. So I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit more just so you can kind of see the skin a little bit more close up. So I think you can see it is a very beautiful dewy finish. It does look like my skin but better. And like I said, it is very light coverage, so you can still see a bit of the pinkiness on my skin coming through. This is also the kind of foundation that you do need to set down because it is very tacky. So now we're gonna go in with concealers. I don't have any new concealers to try, so I'm just gonna go with two old favorites. You've seen these on my channel a million times. I'm just gonna go in first with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Concealer in the shade 03 Nude Beige. This is a very glowy concealer. It is very close to my skin tone. And I'm just going to take a little bit in my under eyes, as well as anywhere where I feel like I need a little bit more coverage. This is also a very light medium coverage concealer. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of the ColourPop No Filter Concealer, again in the shade Light 16. This is more of my highlighting concealer. So once again, I'm going to put this a little bit in the under eye area, as well as right along my nose, right in the center of my forehead, and this part of my face. And then I'm going to take my Real Technique sponge and blend it out. And there we go, a nice even base. I'm looking very pale on camera. These lights don't do me justice, but it is time to set. And for that, we're going to go in with another new product to my collection. It's not very new though. I know this has been out for at least a year. This is the Milk Makeup Blur and Set Mattifying Powder. And I've used this quite a bit the last month since I got it, and I really like this powder compared to a lot of powders I've tried before. It is very lightweight, very blurring, and it sets everything down without going too matte, so you don't lose a lot of that shine and glow that we've already worked so hard to maintain. The one thing that's not great about this packaging is that it comes with a netting that makes it really difficult to get to any of the powder. So what I did is I just cut out the net so that when I dip in with my brushes or with my sponges, I can just get right into what I want. So first I'm gonna set the under eyes. I'm just gonna go in with my Real Technique sponge again, pouncing off any of the excess, and then we're just gonna lightly blend that in. I have mine in the shade Translucent Light. I also like to go in with a sponge on my nose because my nose tends to get very oily, and I also wear glasses, so when I use this technique and just press the powder in, I notice that there's a lot less transfer of makeup from my face onto my glasses. And then I'm gonna go into the rest of my face using just like a fluffy powder brush. So now that the tackiness of the makeup is neutralized, our face is set, we can go in and finish up our under eyes. I'm just gonna go in with those same two matte shades from the Wet n Wild palette. We're gonna start with the lighter one, and then I'm gonna take this really light pinky shade from the CoverGirl palette. This is Afterlight, and I'm just gonna dab that into my inner corners. Tap into that darker shade. I'm gonna focus this more on the outer edge. I'm going in now with that CoverGirl palette, the light shade in my inner corners. We're good. We're beaming. We're shining. You know what? I think this look could really benefit from some eyeliner. I'm going to take my Physicians Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Eyeliner in the shade Ultra Black. And you have to shake this one. It is a pen. I really like this eyeliner. I find like you can get a really good amount of control with it. It doesn't dry out super fast. I mean, I've had this one for a while. The color is very pigmented. It's not super matte, so that's one thing to note. And that is the eyeliner done. It's fairly even. I definitely messed up a little bit. I don't have the steadiest hand, but I feel like it still looks pretty good. So yeah, let's move on to the rest of the face. I am gonna do mascara, but I just wanna do the rest of the face first. Then I can do my setting spray and then mascara. For the face today, I'm gonna be going in with a new face palette that just launched recently by Physicians Formula. This is their Butter Collection palette that they did in collaboration with Weili Huang. This is her. And honestly, I am in love with this palette. I've used it a few times now, and all of the shades are so beautiful. They are curated, I think, to work on darker skin tones as well. She added in the deep bronzer. The deep bronzer is the deepest bronzer that Physicians Formula has in their collection. And then they have these 4 limited edition shades, 2 blushes, and then 2 highlight shades. They're all so gorgeous, and I'm just obsessed. And of course, the Butter Formula by Physicians Formula is one of the best face product formulas out there on the market. It's so good. And it smells amazing. So first, of course, we're gonna go in with bronzer. So I'm gonna take the Sunset bronzer shade, and I'm just gonna take that on this fluffy brush. And then to go with our light, youthful tone that we're going for with the skin, I'm gonna go in with the lighter shade blush Apricot. I'm taking this on a stippling brush. This is the Morphe B5. I mean, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. And then I'm just going to take the highlighter in Golden Hour, which is a little bit pinky, and I'm just gonna take it on my finger and just tap it onto the skin, because I find that that method is the best for the butter highlights, because they're almost like a cream, and I find that you get more control when you blend it out with your finger versus going in with a brush. And just a tiny bit on the bridge of the nose, and then on the Cupid's bow. I almost completely forgot to do my eyebrows. This whole time. I've been meaning to do them after I did my base, and I just completely forgot. So For the eyebrows, I also have a new product to my collection. This is the Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim Defining Pencil in the shade Black Brown. I've tested it on the back of my hand and it feels like it has a nice formula. I haven't used this on the brows yet, so this is also kind of like a first impressions. I've had a really hard time finding my eyebrow color, the shade, in eyebrow pencils. I always feel like the dark browns just veer way too warm, and I can't go with the black because it's too dark and it makes my eyebrows look way too bold. So I'm hoping black brown will be the match that I've been looking for. But I've heard good things about the Maybelline eyebrow pencils, so here's hoping. I think I found my holy grail brow product. Oh my gosh, that is a perfect color match. I can draw onto the skin really nicely. It's not too creamy, it's not too waxy. It brushes out really nice. It looks natural but full. Oh my gosh. Like, this is with and this is without. It's like night and day. Oh my goodness. That was so easy too and so quick. Oh, this is it. This is the holy grail brow product I've been looking for. I'm having a moment. All right, I'm just gonna quickly do the other eyebrow and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, we are almost at the end. First thing I'm gonna do is set down, and I'm using a new spray to my collection, one that has been hyped up by everyone since it came out. This is the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. I've used this several times and I must say it is worth the hype. It is a fairly affordable setting spray, especially compared to more high-end brands. This cost about $20, and a good high-end setting spray is going to cost you probably more than $30. This is, of course, Canadian. I know in the US your pricing is a little bit cheaper than us. So you just have to shake it first, and then it just has this perfect mist. It feels really good on the skin. It doesn't have like a really bad smell, and everything just sinks in so perfectly when I use this. It's great. Next, we're going to go in with mascara just so we can finally finish up the eyes. I'm just going to use my travel size Damn Girl mascara by Too Faced. I really want to pick up the full size because I really like this brush. I really like the formula. It gives me very dramatic long lashes. And it's dry enough that I don't feel like it's gonna go all over the place. For example, a very wet formula would be the Monsieur Big by Lancome. I love that mascara as well. It does give you very dramatic volume, but it is a very wet formula. So when you apply it, you really have to give it time to dry before you start blinking and doing all your other makeup. Otherwise, it just gets everywhere. And there are our lashes. Finally, we come to the lips, and the lips are not new products, but they are ones that I haven't used in a little while. And I'm gonna start with the Physicians Formula The Healthy Lip. This is a velvet finish liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade Bear With Me. I'm going for a more nude pink lip because the eyes are so dramatic. I love the applicator on this because it has a nice little point, so you can really get in there with all the details without needing to line your lips first. And I'm just going to top it off with a little bit of lip gloss. This is the Clarins Instant Light Natural Lip Perfector, and this is in the shade 07. It has a little dofa applicator. Just squeeze the tube. It is a non-sticky gloss, and it is very lightweight and shiny. And there we go. That is the whole look. There you guys go. This is the whole finished look. I hope you like how it turned out. I definitely do. Let me know down in the comments below what was your favorite product that I featured in today's video. Have you guys tried any of them out, or have you been dying to? Let me know. Let me know also what other videos you guys want to see from me, any other looks or tutorials that you want me to do. I know I have been away for a while. I've just been taking a bit of a break. I know. At the end of December, I was like, oh, I'm back. But I mean, how many times have I done that before? I really just want to kind of take it easy with YouTube this year. I just want to enjoy myself, put out content that I'm proud of and that I like. And if I don't have the time to put in the effort to make a video that I like, I'm not going to put it out, obviously. So that's my approach this year, and hopefully I can get out videos on a consistent basis. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!